the worst pickup line of all time? When will Jeff Bezos decide to fix the world? And an examine at what it would be like to meet Socrates in person. All of this on today's most amazing top 10 list. Coming in at number 10 we have You Up. This tweet has been reworked so many times I have no idea who originally tweeted it. If you know, please let us know in the comments, but this has to be the worst pickup line ever. I think a lot of us have been in that situation. It's a lonely, cold night. You're scrolling through your phone, looking at some people you've been on dates with. You see someone who sparks an interest in you, and you think, hey, why don't I shoot my shot and not explain myself at all? I'll just see if they still like me and want to come around and hang out again. Just the lol in the tweet sends it home for me. The fact that someone would have the gall to send a text to a person after ghosting them and really have no reason to explain why they were so rude? I'm some people. It's capped off with that beautiful, what are you doing tonight though? God, this tweet speaks to me on a spiritual level. Coming in at number 9 we have Just Vibes. Anyone who sat in the waiting room at the dentist or doctor as a kid will relate to this tweet so hard. Ronnie Iver tweeted out, there's no goal with these things, just vibes. And honestly, that's so true, man. I can see myself sitting on the floor of some place cross-legged. I'm like 7 years old. I'm sitting on carpet that has some strange design on it that I've never seen before, but it's vaguely recognizable. There's dozens of these things spread out in front of me, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe I'm gonna build a little man. Maybe I'm gonna test my carpentry skills and see if I got a house in me. Maybe I'm gonna build a 2D house and just look at the beautiful landscape. None of the pieces fit together really. You can't build anything substantial that will last, but the experience is soothing. The smooth pieces glide across the carpet as I place them together. The idea of what I will create forms in the process, or it doesn't. It doesn't matter. I'm just here for the ride, baby. Take me away to the paradise and peacefulness that these little wooden pieces provide. And guys, remember to like this video, it really helps us out. Coming in at number 8 we have Halloween questions. This was both a very funny tweet and a great question. This was tweeted out by Michaela Oakland, and she wrote, are you guys dressing up for Halloween and then just vibing in your kitchen as Dracula, or what? What's the situation? Before Halloween, this was on everyone's mind. What were we supposed to do? Are we allowed to group up and hang out? Are people just gonna solo in their costumes with their roommates and then Zoom drink with people? Were we even supposed to hand out candy? What was the vibe for our precious holiday of consuming sugar and dressing up in very little clothing in a slightly spooky way? Well, now that Halloween has passed, I think it's safe to say that the vibe was do whatever you want. Do you want to go to a rager? Hit it up. Do you want to lock yourself inside? Sure, why not? No one really respected the rules that day. That's just how it went. And also, I'm answering the dumbest tweets on a YouTube channel, so you shouldn't take Corona advice from me, just so you know. Coming in at number 7, we have Bathtub Dilemma. You know there's a lot of problems we should fix before we get to our next tweet, but I have to say wholeheartedly, I agree with Lauren. Lauren, who goes by the Twitter handle LLW902, tweeted out, bathtubs should be sized so people over 5'8" can relax with both their knees and back underwater. Why are bathtubs still manufactured for people in the Napoleon era? And you know what, Lauren? That is true. Why can't taller people have a bathtub that fits them? Because it's not like the taller ones wouldn't fit the little people. If bathtubs were bigger, you could fit 2 little people in there for every 1 large person. Or you could lay 2 big people on top of each other. This has all been a trick by Big Bathtub. They want you to think that you should be squished in the tub so that becomes the normal part of life. So they can charge you the same amount for smaller tubs. Now you go into some places and they don't even have a tub. It's only a shower. It's all a conspiracy to keep you in a little tub or standing all the time. They never want you to relax in your little bubble bath again. Coming in at number 6, we have Has Jeff Bezos Decided? There's a Twitter account that lets the world know all the things that Jeff Bezos hasn't decided to do that day. Because the richest man in the world could change a lot if he chose to. Jeff Bezos Decided tweeted out, Jeff Bezos has decided he will not end world hunger today. Which is so true, dude. I love this Twitter account so much. Why hasn't this dude just spent his money on fixing the world? Bill Gates is out there trying to cure AIDS, and Jeff Bezos is just trying to put every small business out of business and make sure that his employees don't unionize. Also, it's kind of a bummer for bald men in the world. If the richest man in the world is still bald, you know there's no cure for baldness. Coming in number 5, we have Trying to Save Face. This is probably the most millennial tweet I have on this list. It's the perfect representation of how many millennials are trying to act cool on the outside, but on the inside are exploding. The Twitter account Zania Leah tweeted out, "I'd be like, I don't care, and then have an anxiety attack." I don't know what happened to me because it seems like everyone from my generation struggles with some sort of stress disorder, and I really feel chill all the time. Maybe it was dropped as a kid and the part of my brain that's supposed to keep you stressed out got all dinged up, but I still can relate to this. I think we've all been like, yeah, sure, it's no big deal at all, when on the inside your heart is screaming because it's a huge deal and we're freaking out. Coming in at number 4, we have a question for the trains. You know, this list is asking me a lot of questions that I didn't ever ask and I already know the answers to, but still has me thinking very deeply about them, like Whap's tweet. The tweet goes, "Why are trains so expensive? You're going that way anyway, just drop me off." Honestly, we all know why the train charges us. It's because it's a business, so it has to make money in order to run. But it's true that it's going there anyway, so after it's built, what does it still need money for? You just keep heading there to drop off people, so it makes sense if you would take me. Like if we stopped paying, you're going to keep going to these things and things are going to keep going fine. Also, what is money? Why are we paying for something like this? Shouldn't we pay for things that are more important? Should trains be free? I'm questioning the structure of society now from this little tweet that was supposed to be a joke. Now I'm gonna be up all night. Coming in at number 3, we have Whap. The song Whap has shook the world. It probably was the biggest song of the pandemic, and it came with some pretty good tweets. This was tweeted out by Damon Sparks, and it says, "Whap stands for Where Are You? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot dream tonight." This is probably the best interpretation of Whap I have ever seen. No matter how far we get from Blink-182 being one of the biggest bands in the world and molding a lot of people's childhoods, we can never forget that they made the song I Miss You, and that Tom DeLonge has one of the strangest singing voices that we have ever heard, and at the same time, we all love his voice. I think we can all say, "I miss you, Blink-182, and really mean it. Also, I think one of them is like a huge conspiracy theorist now, but I don't really have the data to confirm that. Coming in at number 2, we have Philosopher was a job. Our boy Randy blew up a few weeks ago because he hit the nail on the head when he was analyzing what the hell a philosopher is. He tweeted, "How is a philosopher ever a job? LMAO, like Socrates sipping wine on a balcony somewhere drunkenly slurring like, to find yourself, think for yourself," with a crowd underneath him screaming stuff like, "Yes, Socrates, another banger. This man will just not miss." The idea of a concert that is just a dude saying philosophy with a crowd going crazy is absolutely hilarious. People show up in Socrates merch. People are quoting him. It's so funny because the equivalent to Socrates now is some girl's Facebook timeline that is really boring. Just a bunch of motivational quotes plastered all over the internet with a floral background. Also, if you guys like philosophers, you should look up Diogenes. He was one of the best. The dude lived on the streets, owned nothing, and was so famous that Alexander the Great came to see him, and he asked him, the great Diogenes, "If there's anything I can do for you, just ask." And Diogenes said, "Get out of my son." To which Alexander the Great laughed and said, "If I were not Alexander the Great, I would want to be Diogenes." And Diogenes said, "If I were not me, I would want to be me too." That is one of the most ballin' things I have ever heard. And coming at the number 1 spot, we have Love is Love. I have to say that nothing has made me laugh this hard in a long time because this tweet was so beautifully stupid. In fact, I'm going to give this tweet my first beautifully stupid award. This was tweeted out by OX Disease, also known as Connor, and it reads, "E-boy, I love my girlfriend. E-girl, I love my boyfriend. Italian, I cook it a meatball." It's just so perfectly dumb. Connor forces a pun into this tweet and makes one of the silliest jokes about Italians I have ever read. It's a perfect misdirect. The theme is great, the joke is harmless, but still so goddamn funny. I literally cried the first time I read it and showed it to like 10 people. Some of them were like, "I don't get it at all," and the others were like, "That's so funny. Thank you for showing me this." This tweet was so perfect, it helped me weed out my real friends from the pretenders. What the f is that? Okay. Is that getting picked up on the mic?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. We'll just hold on. He tweeted, "How was a philosopher ever a job? LMAO." Sorry. The Twitter account Zonia? Yeah. The Twitter account Zani Aaliyah tweeted out, "I'd be like, I don't care," and then have an anxiety attack. The Twitter account Zani Aaliyah tweeted out, "I'd be like, I don't care," and then have an anxiety attack. The Twitter account Zani Aaliyah... Alright guys, that's what we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Jay Durena. Take it easy.